Hello. Oh, the webcam's still up, but doesn't really matter. Today we're continuing the data general DOS floppy stuff. It's gonna be kind of interesting. So yeah, we're gonna be looking at today. We're probably gonna just try to make equivalents to the original data general floppy disks. So there should have been two main disks from the documentation that we were looking at yesterday. One is the starter, one is the utilities diskette. We have a list of file names that should go on those, and then we have the single mag tape image that probably has everything. So we're going to try and just make our own starter disk and see if we can make a full system on this utilizing that. So that's what we're going to be working on. Now, a little tricky because I'm going to insist that we find a disk with good flux to start with, because I want to know that we can image the disks afterwards. So this is going to be a little weird. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the disk images that I already have, and we're going to see which ones didn't have errors, converted them to IMG files, and we're going to find one that's good. Then we're going to write it to the disk that I punched a hole in yesterday, because that one I believe will have the best flux because it didn't come from the same set. And then we're going to run the DOS on it so that we know we get a valid pattern, and then we're going to re-image it and see if the flux all stays good, because the disks that we created, or disk images I should say, that we created yesterday out of the images that we fluxed had bad decoding, and I would like to make sure that we start with something that's really, really clean here. So that's what we're doing first. So, all right. See, make your own OS installer, just jack Windows 10 install floppies, yeah. So, okay. Let's see. All right. What now? Oh, you're talking about the daylight savings. That's right. Daylight savings, people, yeah. Own installer should make a panger chip. The only speaker in any of this stuff, as far as I'm aware, is the bell speaker in the terminal. So unless you just want to hear it beep over and over again, yeah. Megastar, basically, it doesn't matter. The Data General runs its own operating system. So I can tell you what it is, but it is irrelevant to anything else. So it's just DOS, but it's Data General DOS. So, yeah. All right. daylight wastage time to get rid of some of those hours of blazing sunshine. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get started there. USB Surface charge adapter. Yeah, I'm not buying a stupid Surface charger. No. Anyway, this didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. I put KUbuntu on there this morning, and then the touchscreen doesn't work, and now I'm finding out you got to install a stupid Microsoft Surface-specific Linux kernel, so whatever, man. Just stupid Microsoft's problems. All right, I'm going to hit those buttons. I can just go over there. I hit this button. All right. All right. So, there is one thing that I want to show you first before we get started. So, yesterday we were looking at the manuals for DOS, RDOS, or whatever, and we came across the fdump utility. And turns out there's some cool stuff we can do with some of those. So, fdump, maybe not that useful. But I was reading through a manual that I just got, learning to use your RDOS DOS system, and in that it has a description of, I need to turn on that camera and position it in a second, it has a description of the dump command. Let me just show you what that does. So here we are booted into SimH. I'm going to go ahead and flip these around, and I'm probably going to have wonky issues with video capture on this. I didn't have everything started today because stupid Microsoft Surface. Anyway, first, let me show you something interesting. I was also going to get that exact manual, but now I know you beat me to it. It had been up for a while, and I just lowballed the guy. And then he took it. I don't know. I will say I may have beat you on something last night. I don't know. There was way more action on that than I expected. I kind of regret it too.
AM,
but, oh well.
44 as prime and says end of line.
Wallworks, hold on. Wait, what now? I'm confused. Well, Wallworks, thank you for the follow. Oh, that's weird. It's not putting your sub in the activity feed. I'm just going to refresh the page and hope that fixes it. The RDOS command line interpreter manual? Yep. The command line manual.
Laura Kuhn says CHER 100 you're confused. Isn't that a default state for Twitch's interface? End of line.
Hey man, thank you for the Prime sub and for 6 months. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Yeah, the command line manual turned out to be older than I realized. You didn't bid as it's already on NAF. Okay, yeah. Well, this is, right? You said you were interested in this? This is, maybe it's on BitSavers. Hold on. Doc, hardware, no, data general. Doc. Oh, I don't have it here. I'm pretty sure it is. But anyway, I don't know exactly. It might be BitSavers. I know it's somewhere. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh, I was gonna go fix the camera. Oh, I was gonna show you this first. Okay, hold on. So, the dump command is in there, all right? So, if we run dump, we can see what it complains about. And, okay, I'm mildly confused by that, but that's fine. What we can do here is, so we can see we're in a folder here. It's got files. What dump will do, if you don't provide it a file parameter, is staying in the current directory and subdirectories. Now, you have to tell it where you want to dump the files to, but you know what's a valid output? The console. There is one problem.
Ultimate says CHER 100 not enough arguments. Ask check about tags versus spaces and Emacs versus VI. End of line.
You're hilarious, Ben. It's Vim, clearly. Okay. Some of the physical manuals, one of the paper tape from seller, command line manual, but even for an already scanned manual, went for... Oh, ouch. Yeah. I wasn't... So I do this thing where I will take the amount of money that I actually want to pay for an item, and when I'm doing my final bid, I will multiply that by, like, I will add 15% more on top of what I actually want to pay $10 for something, then I'm willing to pay $11 for something, all right? I mean, let's be real, okay? That's what you did? Yeah. Well, I'm just saying for the CLI manual. So my number, I didn't even go that, no, I did go about that much. My number was 50 for that manual because that's what I paid for every manual. And then, so I bid 55, and that did win for the CLI manual, but I don't normally like it. I don't like it when it goes above what it was in the range where it was like, okay, fine. So that's the uncomfortable range. But then it was extra painful because it's a manual from 1975 and it doesn't have any of the stuff that we were actually looking at. So that was why I was slightly annoyed. I didn't realize that until it was too late. Anyway, let me turn this on. There we go.
MEGASTAR 64SIZCHEER 100. This message has nothing of importance. I just like making the computer think the funny things. End of line.
Picked a perfect time to have a little brain fart there. Make it start thinking for the 100 bits. Let's see. Dump equal cat. Well, but it does it for all the contents in the directory. So it's not one file. It can do it for the whole directory. Here's the thing. If we can find a way of having dump a directory in such a way that another DOS instance can receive it, I would prefer that over a disk image. And that sounds weird, but I feel like that will make it more usable. So if we can figure out a way of doing that, that really simplifies what I'm doing, and we can much quickly bring up the hard drive for the Micronova than I anticipated. So, all right, let me figure out video capture over here for this thing so that we can get started on that. Can it dump to just a serial device and not the console? So we'll find out, because here's the thing. This cable is going to the card on the Micronova now, and I will go ahead and plug it into position 5 here now. The only downside is I have no idea how that card's configured. I guess we could just go look it up. I do have, you know, like all this stuff documented. Let's see. Micronova. Well, I think Xfer can, but I don't know if Xfer will just dump like everything. Dump is different. Okay, so serial. This is the one that we want to look at. So I don't have this well documented yet. So actually, let's take this the easy way. Hold on, open a new tab. And we'll look at this. Are these configured the same? No, they were not configured the same. Of course. I want to say this was configured for like 300 baud or something I saw in one of the manual or like service notes maybe. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. So we'll have to figure that out. I would like to know if it even, did you already look? That's configured for 1200? Okay. What about the stop bits and whatnot? Was that, because I think that's set over here. Or is it this? That was set the same. That one doesn't exist. You remember, okay. This then, really quick, just so that I can have this marked. We're gonna go to Port 4 here. I'm going to name this Micronova TT01. All right. We'll set the baud rate to 1200, and I'm going to... I don't know what it's going to be here. I think I might have to look this up. We'll leave it at 8 none for right now and just hope for the best. I will also disable handshaking. All right. Okay. One of the white chips is 8N2, fully populated one. 8N2. I don't think it's 2. I don't think it was ever 2, because I've never used 2 stop bits with anything. Additionally, I'm not even sure they can do 8 data bits, but I don't know. We'll come back to that. Because we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. It's just next time I get it booted, I want to check that. Okay, I'm going to hit this really quick, and then while that's off screen, I want to check here to see if it has lost its mind or not. It is not working. Okay, let me just cycle it, see if I can make it work. Does not want to seem to play ball. I'm just going to power cycle it now. At least you're not having to worry about 7-bit serial interfaces. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm saying that this is 7 bits only. I'm not 100% sure what all that can do. All right, why am I not getting anything? Hold on, control, no, config. Scalar settings, test pattern, color bars. Okay, so I get color bars up there, but why am I not getting video capture? Did I big this out? Sometimes the composite BNC stuff gets a little cranky. There it is. That was the problem. All right. 1010, I don't know, because the only things I can speculate don't make sense. All right. Disk drives on. Waiting a second. And wait, why am I even booting this yet? We're not at this point yet. Oh well, might as well. Reset. Run. Okay. This does let me verify once I bring this over that we have boop video capture. Look at it capturing video. Okay. Now, okay, so that does make sense that serial interfaces can do 8 data bits. Oh, yay, now I get to have fun with the noisy, disk drive. That's it. Usagi's speculating it's because it has a ferroresonant power supply. I'm thinking next time I have it open, or at least before I put it back in the rack, I might try and just hold it or jam it with something soft to see if that reduces it. That 12 kilohertz whine is awful. Okay. Let's look over our archived files first. And then we're going to write a disk to here. And then from that, we're going to run DOS init, and we're going to work on trying to make a good file here. So it doesn't really matter which one. I just need a disk image that was clean. That one's clean. Okay, so we're going to write AP1 to this floppy. Let me get the 8-inch drives on here. Oh my gosh, I slid the scanner back, and now the power switch is really hard to get to. There we go. Ugh. All right. So we're going to write. Yep, that. Oh, you can't see. Boop. And I go over here and hit boop. Oh, guess I didn't need to do that through the... Oh, wait. There. Yeah? Come on. This. Hey! It's an 8-inch floppy burglar. I can close SimH for now. Alright. So that worked out well. Kind of tested, or interested in testing the integrity of it. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll just do this really quick test. And we're going to read it back. I'm going to grab... Wait, where'd they all go? That was weird. Okay. Grab that. If I lean back, I don't hear the fans, but then I only hear the 12 kilohertz whine. Having the 12 kilohertz whine you know what? I'm just going to earplugs right away. Oh my gosh. I could just tell. Okay. Better. All right, so the first thing we are doing here is we're gonna uncomment this dir. We're gonna move it to work dir. We're gonna move it into work dir. We're going to convert the thing so that we can test that it's good. Okay, I'm just gonna move bad flux up here. We'll run DG decode. Make sure all the flux looks good. There was 2 dead sectors. Oh, 4. Could it be the disk? This is one downside of working with flux, because we're going to get minor shifts on the data. And that's going to make it just not as accurate. We're going to try writing another one, and then we'll validate it back. So we'll try and find one that works. So that one's good. Let's try and write AP2. I will demagnetize it first. No, Paul Guy, it's about looking at sector headers for the actual data. It should be able to find the structure data. Why is writing so much faster? Oh, because it only does it once. When I'm reading, it does it 3 times. Alright, and now we read it back. Set it to write 3 times, yeah. I've officially had someone comment on one of the Data General videos complaining that I'm doing Data General videos. I think I saw a bad sector, another one. There might have been 2 up there. Not going to be in the same spots, are they? Is the disc bad? Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. Well, you say that, but they are not getting that many views. So they're, I'm not really thrilled about that. Well. I hope it's not that the disc is bad. Okay, let's try this. I'm just going to chuck a different disc in there, so I won't have fixed the hard sector positioning on this one, so it's not going to work in the Micronova, but we can at least try it here to see if this fixes it. Disk is write protected. Fine. I'm going to make a lazy cover, and we'll see if that works in the Data General. On the variety, it's just disk is write protected. I just put the thing on. Really? Fine. We'll put the full metal strip in. Anyway, on the variety, these are just too complicated to not focus on. That's the problem. Like, I'm taking more and better notes than I have on anything ever before, and it's still really hard to keep it all straight. I mean, I could make a switch that bridges a write protect sensor, but it's better to just fix the disks, because then I would have to do it to that too. Try to cycle about 4 different projects from month. Definitely nightmare keeping my head in the right space. Yeah. See? And hey, Usagi. Any recipes? Like cooking? Nerds don't cook. No, can't say that I have. Well, the next video that goes up on the main channel will be scripted, summarizing everything it took to get the RAM going. So we'll see if that does better, not just being a stream edit. It's going to end with mostly stream edits, but by then they'll have opportunity cost. No, what is it? Sunk cost fallacy. They'll want to finish the video. Shuttle, the closest domino is about 100 miles out. That's extra hilarious because people complained, like, well, not like really complained, but like joked that I said a local pizza shop, and then I picked Domino's because, you know, it's a national chain. I meant in the vicinity, and then you don't even have one within your vicinity, so that's extra. All right. Hey, no errors on that one, so now I just, you know, have to punch a hole in it. Maybe start the DG, gosh, I'm gonna finish it. Kinda. That is kinda how I feel. All right. So I'm gonna take a disk that's actually for the micro Nova. There was one around here. There it is. All my manuals are trying to escape. Hold on. Ah. All right, we're gonna take this. We're gonna use the sector index hole in that to mark the other disk. Usagi, I don't know if you caught this. So I was sent some double-sided hard sector disks. And that means that the sensor hole is in a different place for the hard sector sensor. So I'm having to punch a new hole in the jacket in order for it to work in the data general. But it's also kind of looking like the disks that were used with the data general are in kind of rough shape. So I'm relying on some of these now to try and make my own disks. That's fun. At least the hole punch method works. Yeah. I am really glad that it does. Yeah, a few of them were labeled do not use or something along those lines. All right. Shade Tree. You're the one who sent the double-sided hard sector ones, weren't you? That's what I'm using right now. That's what we just used. This one in my hand just worked well. I forgot to message you back. Yeah. No, I think they're going to be a huge benefit to this project. So yeah, the double-sidedness just requires that I punch a new hole in the disk, so you can see there are 2 holes in there now, so that the sensor for the Micronova can read it, because these are denoted by that. All right, so the next thing, you know what the fill byte is on a sector? It's critical info. You're trying to figure out whether the sector is important or not. I think it's going to end up being all ones, but it's a more complicated answer than you might think. So there is no format utility included with the Data General DOS. At least not normally. It looks like you might be able to get one after the fact. But you have to do this weird DOS init thing that writes patterns to it, and I think the last pattern is all ones. So, but being soft sector guy, I never came across that feature. Yeah, it is wonky. So yeah, actually, let's go through how this works, because this is the very next step here. So let me do this, and then this, and then this. Okay, so we have the Micronova here, we have the Dasher here, and that's video capture of the Dasher in real time. So what we're going to do is 33L, and that's going to run the bootloader here on the disk in this drive. You can figure out how to coerce DG to use soft sector disks to make life so much easier. Yeah, I really tried yesterday. I don't think it can do it. Like, I really tried. I even punched holes in a soft sector disk to make it the correct sensor position. It just does not want to play ball. Okay, so here we're going to run file name, DOS. I'm going to hit alpha lock, DOS init, and this will bring us into the disk initialization utility. Now, this cannot format disks. It just initializes them, which is weird. So the size of the holes is right. I take another disk, I hold it up over the other one, move the sector dot into the middle of the hole, and use a silver Sharpie to mark through it. And then I just hope that the hole punch is the right size. And that's just a regular paper hole punch. Let's see. Okay, so for the model number, we have to do 6038, even though mine's a 6039. Disk unit, we're doing DP1. Command, we are now going to do full. And what this will do is write 5 different patterns to the disk as a way of verifying that the disk is good. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it yes. And what? Why?
CHER 100 and dot no dot. End of line.
Dr. Stoffel, thank you for the 100 bits. Okay. Seeing this work makes me sad. My S20 microclips missing chassis will probably work in this. So Bruce, if that's the case, make one up. That would be cool. Okay. We're gonna try something. Well, what were the commands? Stop. All right, 33L. We're gonna boot into DOS, and we're gonna see if the right disk drive is working correctly. Because sometimes the track 0 indicator sticks, and I see that it's on, and that makes me nervous. Okay. So we get the CLI R prompt now. Okay. Gonna dir DP1 and the stupid micro switch stuck. All right. Well, Usagi, we gotta find out if I stick my hand on the transformer if it mutes the 12 kilohertz signal. Because I have to open the drive. I wonder if I should make sure that the head is off of track 0 when I stop using it for the day. Yes, Digital Ice Age, if it's in good condition, yes. But which version is it? If it's the photo, you're not going to be able to use it with DaVinci Resolve. You need the video. You should actually just go into DaVinci Resolve right now before you buy it and look at which ones are in there and then see if it matches what you're looking at, if any of the options do. Because if it's not in there, if it is the video version, then you're golden. But yeah, if it's not in that list that's in DaVinci Resolve, you don't want it. All right, it was fated to be. Plus, get another look at the excellent fluorescent power supply. Yeah. Although it's not going to be a super incredible look, because that's the camera that I would normally do this with. So, yeah, maybe I can do a thing with my phone. I don't know. All right, stupid floppy drive. All right, let's hide this for now. Okay, so let me just turn off this thing. That's right, touchscreen doesn't work. That's the whole problem. Okay, you can't see anything at the moment. All right, and shut down. Okay. You know what I could do is at least disable the webcam. Okay. Can you use DP0? Yes, but ultimately I need DS1 to work no matter what, or DP1. Well, let me get this out of here. Stupid Surface. All right. Now, the problem that we just experienced is a micro switch that's on the left drive that connects, or that indicates that the head is fully back. The micro switch is bad, annoyingly, so it doesn't work correctly. I would replace it, but then I would have to figure out how to recalibrate the track alignment, and that would be a nightmare. So instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to open it, and I'm going to poke it a couple of times, and then it'll work. But opening it is weird. It's going to be enough of a problem. I'm thinking of ways to retrofit optical sensors. The reason I'm spending most of my time in the MFM emulator and GoTex for the CompuPro. Ooh, that's spooky. Washer just fell down on the logic board. Let's make sure we get that. It would technically be possible to use a GoTech on this. It would just suck. Because I would have to figure out the interface from scratch. Let's see, alignment disk. Doing the burst, make alignment, track 0 alignment. It's tough. Yeah. Here's Mark and I did a video together. We did it on an 8-inch drive, data disk and alignment disk. Yeah. I know it's possible. It's just finicky as all get out. If I can avoid it, I would prefer. I don't know if you've seen this drive's party trick yet, Usagi. I didn't show it in that video. So there was a rail. You pull it back. You lift this up, and then there are 2 slides. Click, click, and then the circuit board just does a wheelie. Then you just pull out this metal shield and you have access to the top of the floppies. Wait till you're doing head alignments on the big 14-inch drives like it's right up. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. On that, Usagi, turns out DG-DOS has some disk dump utilities built in. So I may not have to write something in order to do that, which means I could potentially start on the 6095 sooner than later. Okay. Yeah, this is not easy to show. I'll give this a shot here because I kind of have everything set up for this. All I need to do is grab this cable from the surface, plug it into this thing for power, grab this cable for data, plug it into the end of here, and then steal the HDMI cable from this camera, boop, and plug it into there. And now in theory, I can plug this into my phone and we can use that. Hold on, it launched and lost its mind. All right, there we go. And boop, perfect. Okay. So this down there, that's the track 0 sensor. I'm going to manually move the stepper out so you can see the sensor right there, and realistically all I have to do is just poke it a couple of times and it'll be fine. So I have already flooded it with deoxit, and then used an air compressor to try and blow the deoxit through it. Nothing helps. I don't know what it's gonna take. So yeah, stupid thing just wants to drive me nuts. But yeah, that little button right there, that's the problem. So that thing is stuck. I guarantee as soon as I get in there and just poke it a couple of times, it will be fine. There we go. That should be good. I'm curious. Optical image stabilization is doing all it can. Okay. But yeah, so that's probably good enough for now. So I'm thinking maybe I should just make sure that the head is forward when I turn it off for the day. So, all right. Pretty standard ST switch could replace it. It would be easy to replace it. The problem isn't that. It's that once you remove it, you lose its physical position, which makes it misaligned. This is how it knows when the head is as far back as it should be. So if I remove this and then put it back, slightly farther back, all of the tracks are going to be out of alignment. That is what sets the full track alignment for the entire disc. So it's not great. How is that so dependent on alignment? It doesn't look super precise. Dump the alignment disc kind of like that. Oh, that's cool. Can write it, then realign signature. Write a disk with it, then realign to the signature. I don't think you guys are understanding this. It's not like a PC where I have IMD or, another disk alignment and control tool. We only have DG-DOS, which is, yes, it reads disk, no, it doesn't read disk. So we could try and replace the sensor, and then we would have to try and move it ever so minutely back and forth until it reads, and then it could be slightly out of spec, and we'd have to fine-tune it back and forth. Oscilloscope the head, that is going to be awful. That is what it would take, which, again, is awful. I don't know. It's looking like I'm going to have to figure out something. So, bleh. I'm not looking forward to it. Ugh. All right, this goes the other way. Till it breaks completely, soldier on. That's it. It's just like every other time I go to use the computer, I have to do this. I have to crack open the drive and poke the micro switch, and it is annoying. Thankfully, I'll be able to do this when it's in the rack, because I can lift the thing out and service everything while it's still in the rack. So this isn't a problem that prevents me from re-racking the drive. So... yeah, so what Asagi's saying, it's not something where I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'll just knock that out. It's yeah.
Good evening. Do you keep a tally of how often you have opened the floppy drive?
No, I don't want to know. But Lamo, thank you for the 100 bits. What's pulling on that so much? Something seems off. Well, maybe it is normal. Feels like the cables that go to the floppy drives are putting more strain on the PCB than normal, but okay. These screws go inside. Ugh. But one of my favorite parts of the second channel vid was the log keeping at the end. No, it's, yeah. That's, it's going to start being included in a lot more videos now. I'll say that was log entry number 4. Spend 10 minutes getting a little press, revive it. Spend 10 hours everything down, replace the switch. Yeah. Yeah, actually, on the build-a jig, if I could, I just need to find a metal coat hanger, and then I can get something that I can wiggle into there. The problem is, it's a very narrow slot that you put the disc into. You can't see anything in there. You can't get a tool in there. So, it's just not practical. Switch making contact when the heads come off track 0. The switch is, I don't know if it's normally closed or normally open, but it indicates track 0 when it is closed, when the switch is being depressed. Okay. Put the top on. Probably shouldn't do that with a giant piece of steel. Program to bump the heads back and forth. Track 0 and 1, make the drive fix itself. I kind of like that. Actually, you're onto something there.
100, were you going to poke the transformer? End of line.
Oh, I was going to poke the transformer. Good call. Wait a minute. No, I want to know. I want to know real bad. Wait a minute. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. Chloe, thank you for that 100 bits there. All right. All right. Do you have Spectrum Analyzer app on my phone? No, I don't. I know for a fact it's 12K though. Show exactly what the frequency. It's 12K. I know from editing. Okay, so drive. Bwah. Okay. That doesn't change it at all. There's an inductor there. Poking it with wood doesn't change anything. It sounds like it's coming from back there. I don't think it's a fan. It's not the cap. It's not that black thing. I don't know what it would be. Oh, I just heard it change. That's weird. See, the problem is it's so high-pitched that I can't get my head down there and, like, tell where it is, because it's just bouncing all around. It just sounds like it's coming from everywhere in there. Thermal camera fan bearings? I kind of don't want to know. I'm good. I think the sound started when I plugged in just the logic board. But the drives are... yeah. Take panel off? That? No. Stethoscope? I don't want to go deaf. That was weird. It just did something. It's not plugged into the computer. Yeah. It's definitely coming from the back. Hold on. It did it again. What are you doing? It's like it loads ahead once. Oh, it's so much louder coming from the back. Oh, that's awful. I can't easily hold it at this angle. The cable's too extreme. It's this thing. It's a giant inductor. So whatever that is, when I touch it, it changes the tone. I don't think there's anything I can do about it, then. Oh well. Hot glue. I can't make it go away. Like, any movement doesn't make it go away. Pot it, maybe. Oh well. Well, at least now I know. The good news is, once it's back in the rack, this is going to be very far away. So maybe it won't be as bad once it's in the rack. Alright. Oh, that's so much better, not having it be on. Oh. Everyone thanks you. I thank me. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I had to investigate it. Have you done a resonant frequency analysis on the rack and why it didn't come out? Why did it come out? I have no idea. Dip the whole thing in wax. I don't know why it's 12 kilohertz. Rest of your TV speakers can do that frequency. 12 kilohertz is still there whether drives are on or off. That doesn't sound like my problem. Oh my gosh, that's so much better not having it on. It's awful. I always find it really funny. People complain so much about CRT whine in videos, and it's really not that bad. It's not a thing. That, though, that would be against Geneva, Accord. That's just brutal. Probably a generation most of us lived around CRTs all day, many days before they mostly died out. I think you might be onto something that we're accustomed to it, because it's definitely not that I'm too old I can't hear it. I very much still hear it. It just doesn't bother me, and it never bothered me. Like, I would be young and I would know someone turned on a television in another room because I could hear it, but it wasn't a problem. And I don't think modern microphones are picking that up so loud that it's an issue. Move from the board, dunk the thing, yacht varnish, let it dry out. I may. I was telling Usagi if it was the transformer, that was going to be the first one I learned how to relacquer. So it may just be that gets relacquered. All right, where did I put the... There it is. The Surface charger adapter doodad. No anti-sound drainer for that frequency, so you don't hear it anymore. Yeah, I got earplugs. All right. I've lived long enough to see government's sonic attacks. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Hands on CRT again. Heard the line for like a week. Now I'm accustomed. Sister still hears it. She's older than me. Yeah, see, it's really not that bad. Okay. The drive should work. So I'm just going to put it back together. Yeah. That was awful. I have not been that right up against it while it was doing that. Probably since I got the thing working. Ugh. Maybe that'll help. It's not helping that it's right next to the fan output. So it just gets shot straight out of the rack or out of the case. Maybe if I could baffle it slightly. let's see. I've got this foam tunnel that should be flat, but I used it for a backrest, or as a backrest for a while, so now it's not. So I can use that to direct the air over, and then I'm just going to put that there. So there's space for the air to get out, but maybe that will deflect the sound in such a way as to not make me want to die. How do I output my phone camera to OBS? It is HDMI capture using a USB-C HDMI like dock. And then I'm using the Blackmagic camera app. No, it's not a fan bearing. Hot glue the coil. No, I don't want to make any modifications like that right now. All right, let's see. Oh, just this? That is way better. Oh my gosh. That's acceptable now. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, whoops, I put the key under the... There we go. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, I can live around that. All right. Let me adjust the camera position. All right. We can see Fan doing its job. Oh, yeah, it's wiggling the foam I saw. Oh. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. Yeah, I built a muffler. It's not perfect, but it's better. Okay. Wet, thank you for the tier 1 sub. And for 10 months. I appreciate that. I think I have to go this way because I think I need to push this button still. Okay. Man. Let's get some earmuffs. I was using earplugs earlier. Okay. Computer on. And to the console. What did I miss about active sound canceling? That's not going to be the answer. Okay. 33L. We're not at track 0 currently, which is good. I'm going to put the disk we just made back in. File name, you can't see. That's not what I wanted. Oh, that's why the text was so small. Okay, one moment. Click. There we go. Okay. All of the ones that have the floppy drive in them have a 12 kilohertz notch in post, yes. All right, and bolt a car muffler to it, yeah. Okay. So now DOS in it. Oh, it's so much better. When these are in the rack, I think it's going to be completely acceptable. There's a chance I put a piece of foam on the door on the side that fan vents out of to try and muffle it. Maybe I get some of Dynamat, similar to what Soggy put in the Centurion rack. But I also don't really want to modify the original rack with adhesive materials, so I'll see. Okay, disk unit, DP1. I might try and get some just acoustic dampening board that I can just drop in the sides. All right, command, full, and yes. No, 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 come on, man. It's stuck again. It needs the noise. No, the track 0 sensor's stuck again. The light's on. It's the sensor. All right, how could I poke the sensor without opening the drive right now? Because I desperately do not want to open it again. All I need is to poke the sensor. That's it. I just need to poke it. It's a mostly straight shot. I would need something flat and reasonably stiff that I could bend at the tip. So I'd hook it in. All right, what do I have I can do this with? Yeah, I'm definitely wanting to do what Usagi's saying once we can. Once I get a usable operating system on there, I will do that. I will do that. Right now, I need something for this. Oh, by the way, I'm super duper annoyed. So I bought an actual desoldering iron cleaning set from Thermaltronics, and it exploded when I was trying to use it to clean out the desoldering gun today. I lost part of it in the trash can because I was using it over that. Really frustrating. Okay, so really, there's one of the things for it. Actually, I found it on the ground. I'm missing one piece that I'm pretty sure fell in the trash can that holds the bits together. Okay. Yeah, if I had a coat hanger, a wire coat hanger, I could totally do it, but I don't think I have one of those. Got memory monitor, time for some programming the hard way? Yeah. Good call on zip tie. Oh, I definitely don't have a zip tie that's that long. Letter opener. I don't think you guys are understanding. I got to go in like this much. It's got to be really, really long. It's got to be really, really long and narrower than a ruler. So those of you who have said ruler, here's a ruler. It does not fit into the drive. Because the problem is I have to put it into the same slot that the disk goes into. Just trying to think of what I might have. I know it would be faster for me to just open it and fix it. And by fix it, I just mean poke it a couple of times. But it won't be faster every time for me to do that. One time, yes. More than one time, no. And we are now on more than one time today. Rub up hair. Huh. What? How bad is... I don't think you guys understand. Cardboard is going to be too soft when it's thin enough to go in there. I can't put a ruler in there. It would have to be metal. Metal is the only option. Maybe Usagi's right. Programming manual for the Micronova. Maybe this is the answer. Suck in Nova assembly, that's for Centurion assembly, a bare metal program written up in a few minutes. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't have one of those metal rulers. Yeah, I don't. I would love one. I could just use a metal ruler. We saw on track 0 alignment. It's not, I mean, there is no alignment issue. It's the switch. The switch is bad. Standard I/O device codes. Okay, come on. Give me disk access. Data channel. Handling data transfers. Okay, how do we input, output, program flow? Here's the problem. I don't know assembly, like have any experience with it just at all. So this is kind of a reach to go straight to, I need to load a program into the data buffer to send it to the drive, to have the drive do a thing, but we really only need to send it 2 commands, so it's not that bad. So I don't know, maybe it's possible. Technical reference, okay, hold on here. So let's go to the disk subsystem. It's section 7. Okay. Sket subsystem, blah, 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 block diagram, accumulator formats, okay, so it's DOA, DOB, DIC, track, sector, memory address, unit, HI, I don't know what HI is, specify command, diskette address. Would a ribbon cable fit? It would fit, but it wouldn't be rigid enough to go all the way back. We're talking, we need something the length of an 8-inch floppy disk that is rigid enough that I could put it in at an angle to reach around the head and then have it push a sensor. So I need the thing to be long, but then bend at the tip 90 degrees so I can put it under the head. Okay, if this is the head, because the head has a physical piece that pushes up against the sensor, and that piece is in the way. So I have to get around it so that I can push it. It's not a straight shot because of the head. I really think we're all on a different page here. I think the recommendations could just stop. I don't think you guys are understanding. Read current address. I wish this had like actual programming examples. Yeah, I'm thinking this may not be the... This is why I wanted to get the machine going before I started programming.
100 didn't get failed the same way yesterday, before you seeded the disk with the grease weasel. End of line.
No, we didn't have this issue happen yesterday. So, but Moonwire, thank you for the 100 bits. Yesterday, it just worked all day, no problems. Yeah, if I had a metal ruler, man, I could bend it. I wouldn't want to, but I could. I can't think of anything I have. And I don't think this is going to work fast enough, the programming. Dang it! The commands are not in the technical reference manual. The data packet structures are in the technical reference manual. I was looking at it right here. It does not tell you how to send those. Oh, there's my epoxy. I was looking for that. Not for this, but for something else. Just open the stupid thing. Ugh. Let me make sure all the cables and stuff are going to be okay here. I can't run that on its side because it'll block airflow. Memory monitor, memory address, punch in. See if the head moves forward one step. All right, we'll try that once I get it open. Terminal's so good looking. Just seeing it in the video feed. That thing's insane. No, screw it. I'm flooding it with deoxide again. I don't care. Come on. So frustrating. All right. Light is off. Stupid computer. All right, I've removed the other disk. I'm gonna try the command Usagi sent. Two 061-033 2R. No, that didn't do anything. At least not that I could tell. And now the system is locked up. Majenko, that's... Yeah, I basically knew that's what the structure was. It's just doing that without knowing any assembly and stuff. Just, it's not going to happen today. Just don't worry about it. Okay, guess what? We can't mute the 12 kilohertz thing when the sucker's just got to be full open. So, earplugs, yay! All right. Now it'll just work for the rest of the day just to spite me, because it's open. All right. $33L. DOS in it. Drive model 6038 DP1 full. Are you kidding me? Well, at least it was worth leaving it open. Don't tell me the switch just fully died. Why is it this bad? Can't even get to it when there's a disc in there. Or when the head's in the way. Actually, you know what? Full. Yes. Does it seek back? No. No, because it thinks it's at track 0 already. Oh, the exerciser won't work. There's no point in even trying. Because it thinks it's all the way back. The drive electronics won't even let it go. Trying to find something plastic I can use while it's open. Or you know what? Thick paper. That'll work. Watch it not even be this disc. Or the drive, it's actually the disc. It got off of track 0. That was a success. All right. I'm doing a slightly destructive thing. I am running AP1 in here. This is one of the discs that I got with the machine. It reads good in the flux. I'm doing it. Wait a minute. This is the problem that we never solved, where the drive reports write protected when it's not. The problem just went away at some point, and I don't know what fixed it before.
Your laptop has tier 1 and says end of line.
Eugene, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 2 months. I appreciate that. The sensor isn't the problem. The write protect light on the drive controller is always correct. It's never the write protect sensor, ever. Oh, I thought we were looking at the video capture. Oops. Okay. I'm going to wiggle and push on the terminator. It's as on there as it's going to be. We're going to try rebooting one more time, and that is the only diagnostic I am doing on this today. That's it. I don't remember what other disks may or may not have files on them. All right, we're done. Nope. Not touching this. No. Okay. Well, that sucks. I am tempted to call it a day. I am very tempted. All right, here's something we can do. We're going to go ahead and make a blank disk image in SimH that has just the files for the Micronova starter disk on it. We can do that. Shade Tree, you can't do anything with one drive on a disk-only system. Okay. So, what do we want to use? This should be... Nah, because I had bad sectors. Ben, the real problem is the switch isn't the issue. That's trying to change a flat tire on your car when your timing chain just exploded. You know, we can actually just make a blank one. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay. So let's do Floppy Micronova starter. Let's just call it that. Save. Okay. Weird question I've never thought to ask. Does Ocular keep a list of your recent files? It does. How to generate your DOS system. That's what we want. Okay. Because this of all the files. Okay. So it will have made Micronova starter. Okay. So, what we need are 2 disk images eventually for the Micronova. One of them needs to contain all of these files right here. You know what? Where is this file? Open containing folder. Just going to go ahead and copy this to doc. good. Put this here. I'm just going to OCR this real quick. Because it sucks when stuff's not OCR'd. All right. These are the files that we want. Ha ha. Being able to select. So we want to make sure that we have all of that on a disk. And we can do this fairly easily because we have a hard disk image that was made by 0 ohms here. Thank you very much. That contains the contents of a magtape image that was preserved for the Micronova. You know, we haven't actually looked at the magtape image. Just to get a feel for it here. Let's see, archive, no, not that. It's technically in doc software. You know, I don't know where it is. DG, RDOS, that's all documentation. So, have I not grabbed all of the software? Oh, maybe I don't have that on here. Okay, I'll figure that out later. So, I don't have a magtape drive. Magtape drives are insanely huge. So, no, you definitely would have seen it if I had one. So, all right, what we need to do is run the move command to copy these, if I remember correctly. Anything that's not move ends up breaking the file attributes. So we're going to try and do that. While I have it here, I might as well look at the actual DG RDOS manual. I'm done looking at the hardware today. I don't want any recommendations about hardware and what could be done with hardware. I'm just going to say that right now. So let's find the move command. Okay, copy files to any directory. Is it a bootable device? I don't know what you mean. I'm not even sure that there is a Micronova magtape drive, frankly. I don't even know how that would work. If there is, they're probably unfathomably rare. Oh, do I not have the small webcam on? Sorry, there you go. Okay. So, move copy files to any directory. This command will copy a given file or files in the current directory to another directory. File name cannot be a directory. If you omit file names and switches, all non-permanent files in directory are moved. Okay, so we don't want all of them. Let's see. Select the most recent version. It's the same name of file. Check both. If a file in... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it has a non-clobber option. Okay, interesting. Okay, examples. Move midir.sr and move destination, directory name, and then the file name. Move midir jitters command compose file under a different name in the current directory. By doing this, plan... Oh, that's cool. There's there are like variable wildcard stuff, huh? I'll move my bookmark to the move command page here. All right, let's give this a shot. So we could just cheater or... See, every time we do this, it acts really weird, and that's what's confusing. So let's just try this. Move DOS init. No. DP1. And then space, right? DOS. Space DOS init dot SV. Illegal file name. It's because it's not a file name. It's a directory name. You're the one who wants it to be a directory name. Why does that not work? Destination directory name. And then it's like stuck. Okay, that was weird. List. Okay, so we are not in that directory yet. So let's try this again. dp1 : maybe. So I'm just gonna look at the manual. You know what? Let me bring up a manual here. Yeah, I don't think I have that manual handy. So let's look at doc, software, OS, DOS, and DOS reference. Actually, is it going to be under RDOS? So this is the exact manual that I have here. This is what I'm looking at in person. So I was looking at the move command here. And move is really weird because it doesn't behave in a predictable manner. We should be able to move to another drive, but it always acts so weird. Cheater, file A. I wonder if we could go to dp1 and then just copy the file to the disk. So maybe dir dp1 list just to make dir dp. Oh, well, that wasn't going to help, but it didn't matter. Disk format error. How is that possible? I thought it handled it dynamically. Oh, well. All right, we'll start with blank. Is this actually blank? Let's check. I think it's my boot disk, but we're just pretending it's blank. Sure you want to exit? Yeah. No, I don't want to save them. Never. I just... What unsaved changes are there, imhex? Tell me. That I scrolled? Are you going to save that to the file? Come on. All right. Let's work from that. So bad flux, this whole thing, we're just going to run dg decode. This will give us some images. They're not going to be good because we tried to make a good image and then it didn't work. We're just going to take this file and we're going to delete that blank because that one's kind of stupid. We're going to make this blank. And then we're going to run dd blank or if equal blank dot img of equal blank dash swap dot img conv equals swab. Stupid thing. Here, Meltdown, I'll link you to the video. It's right now, you just press F4. That's it. Just press F4. I find it really funny how many people are surprised by that, but yeah, you just press F4. Now, the context menu options, that one's a little more difficult. That one, you'll want to... I will actually link you to a real thing on that. Who would have guessed? I'm signed out of GitHub. Screw it. I'm linking you to my own Git repo, git.techtangents, because I'm going to be signed into that, because it's not insane. I don't think it's well documented. It's not super well documented, but this will give you some rough idea how you do it. It's KDE service menus. That's what you need to look at. So you can just go look at that. All right. Now we're going to copy blank swap as the starter. And we'll modify the config file for simh. Boom. All right. So now dir dp2 list, it works. Perfect. Okay. So we're in dp2. So now we can try move. And then according to this manual, we can do %gdir to insert that text as like a direct call, which is kind of sweet. So we're going to do that. Move gdir, which will tell it, do it to the present directory. And then we're going to grab dp1 dosinit.sv, dosinit.sv, directory not initialized. This is inited. I copied this from the one that we already did init on. I think it's saying dp1 is not init. Really wish there was a recall key. For just the last command even, that would be nice. I mean, it'll cost nothing just to run in it here or whatever. Confirm, sure. Not enough arguments. Device already in system. Yeah, it's happy with it. Maybe a different manual will actually explain how to use move. Let's just go explore for a little bit. Data general, stock, software. So the software, all of the documentation I have here is really heavily fragmented because there were different amounts of documentation available at different times. So it's really, really weird. Maybe this manual. I think this is the one we were looking at yesterday. Okay, hold on. OCR'd, it is. Okay. Control F, move. Move command allows you to move files from the current directory to another directory. I don't know about the webcam. The only thing I can do is move something close to it. And then away and hope for the best. Okay, move, blah, blah, blah. Other name destination directory is the first argument. Specify other files you want to move, including verify. The directory. But what if I just want to move it from one drive to another? Like, it doesn't even seem to cover that. I know it says you have to be in the source, but that didn't work either. So let's try the opposite. Because it's just awful. Dir DP1, move, DP1. I know what will work, I just don't want to do it. DP1 DOS init.sv. Illegal file name DP1. Move DP1 DOS init.sv. Not dip. DP1, actually it's DP2. DOS init.sv. Okay, that's weird. Move DP2 DOS init.sv. All right, fine. Dir DP1. This syntax is awful. Okay, well, we know the incantation now. So that's fine. We can work with that. So we are in DP1. So move DP2 boot.sv. All right, move DP2 space, and I'm just going to copy that. Mboot sys.sv, paste mboot sys.o. Now I gotta cancel that. Okay. mboot sys.ol. Okay. Now, Ben, I thought I was going to have to do :sysv, the stupid workaround I was doing last time. I swear just putting the drive directory name like that before didn't work, but whatever, I give up. Earlier today, before stream, I tried running the dump command in the RDOS that we're currently booted from, which is not for the Micronova. And I swear the dump command just straight up didn't work. I swear it said the dump command doesn't exist. So what I did is I went over to the RDOS disk, and then I ran CLI directly from that, and then that had dump. Because they're just different. But I don't know. Okay. Now, move CLI.sv, move CLI. You know, we can do dot dash, but I would like to only have exactly the files that we need, just in case there are like other weird, like temp files or whatever. So, right. m-dos-a.lb, m-dos-c.lb. No, I'd screwed it up. Ugh. m-dos-c.lb, m-dos-i.lb, m-dos-o. Okay. rldr.sv, rldr.ov, nope, rldr.ol. I don't know why I keep thinking it's OV. I think the SV is messing me up. OL, okay. sysgen.sv, and then for asynchronous line multiplexer, yeah, we don't really need that, but we're going to put it on there because we're making this as complete as possible. So ALMSPD.SR. Man, that one's complicated. ALMSPDSR. Okay. Move ALMSPDRB. ALMSPD.RB. Okay. In theory, dir dp2 list, that is now equivalent to the Micronova starter disk. So that would be the actual Micronova starter disk contents. Now, I think yes, we used one that should have a bootloader on it, I think. Hopefully. Maybe. So what we can do now is dir dp0 release dp2, so it's all nice and happy, and then that's it. I'm going to shut down SimH, and we're going to grab starter. I'm going to copy that out to here, and then I'm going to dd flip the bits. Starter swap, and then I'm gonna delete non-swap because the other one's the real swap. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to data general, and I'm gonna just make a software folder here. So boot sys and boot sys OL are for non-micronovas. Technically, I could put them on there, but I don't have... I mean, we're calling this the micronova disk, okay? So we're going to say this one is... apparently protesting the new folder I made. Oh my gosh, Nextcloud, chill, jeez. I think settings will take 12 years to open, so we'll just leave that be. Oh my gosh, Nextcloud. Micro Nova. Startup. Okay, hold on. Computers. Hardware. Systems. Go away. Oh my gosh. Computers. Hardware. Systems. Other. Data general. Software. Go. God. There, I got it to shut up. Jeez. Wait, what? Oh, there was actually a folder there already. That's why it was complaining so much. Okay, fair is fair. All right. We'll just, you know what? We'll leave that there for now. Okay. I was like, why is it putting stuff in there? Oh, wait, that's the stuff that should go there. All right. Fine. Let's go ahead and do this again. We're going to take the list one. We're going to put it in here. We're going to have to swap it. Or did we just... Is blank swap already good? You know, I think blank swap is good. We're going to copy this. Or is it? I don't know, man. Util. Let's just find out. Just need this to be, like, slightly longer. There we go. Okay. Core memory board doesn't work in the in the Nova 4X. Okay. I will never be able to use it. Now we just need to change this to use the util disk. No idea if it's byte swapped or not. Let's just find out. Run. That is evil, Chloe. That's terrible. Usagi's system, I believe, is already maxed out for RAM. Additionally, he already has that exact board. If he needed it for parts, I would give it to him, but if not, I would prefer to have it because it's the only example of core memory that I have. Okay, dir dp2 list. Okay, so it's good. So we go back to dir dp1 and we start this over again, but this time we got to copy all of those. Holy moly, that's a lot. Okay. All right. If it works, he might be able to dump the memory if it hasn't been erased. Yes. Is it worth shipping it all that way just to find out that it just has someone's accounting data in the RAM? Probably not. If I'm ever there, I could take it and we could find out, but it's realistically not going to be acceptable. Script time. Wouldn't it really take just as long for me to properly clean up the output from, like, copying and pasting this. Oh, it's actually a correct table? What? What in the name of good OCR? Oh, are these all correct? I mean, I guess we could do this. Maybe this gets a little weird. Think about how I can do this. Yeah, it's the Bliss wallpaper because having dark images was acting weird for the video capture. So SimH allows you to do scripting, but it's strange. Yeah, I think it would actually be worse to try and script it. I'm not going to bother. I'm not bothering. No, we're not doing it. But what I can do is just slightly cheat here. I can do this at least. And then have them all kind of ready to go. I don't want to use the move wildcard because it will copy files we don't want. The whole point of this is to get only the files that are meant to be on this disk. Yeah, that'll work. Here's why we can't just... I don't know. The whole point is to only ever write the files that are meant to be on here, so it is clean. I don't want to write them and delete it and then have holes in the disk structure. So anyway, the reason we're not going to try and script this is because moving the files is going to take some amount of time, and I don't want to have it wait for the time and then have an issue with it and just stupid stuff like that, so we're not going to deal with that. But now I can just do this. Boom. And I can grab them one at a time here. And just do it that way. And then once I'm through this, it'll be good. File does not exist, medit. Multi-terminal text editor. Kind of good without that. Makes me a little sad, but oh well. Glad we got N speed and speed. So those are supposed to be the better text editors. And I have no idea of Vorpal Sword. No sys S? It should be sys 5. Hold on. What was the other one that didn't work? medit? medit.sv. Yeah, that wasn't misspelled or anything. Okay, so it's sys5.lv. Yep. fdump, that's a big one, potentially. We'll find out. fload. That would be nice. You know, I didn't look for that. Hold on. Is there a load command in here? Load. Load previously dumped file from input name into current directory. If you omit file names and switches, all non-permanent files are loaded with global switches. You can select, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Here's what I'm kind of hoping, all right? I'm hoping we can dump from real hardware and then load in SimH to write data from real hardware to a disk image in SimH. That's my ideal. Boom. Okay. That should be... no, Philip, I'm pretty sure load, just plain load would unpack a whole dump into a directory. So. All right. Now we can dir dp2, we can list it. Look at all them files that are on there except for medit. Set of curiosities. medit, cd, dp0, dir, dp0. Is it on here? Does this one have it? If it does, I'm not mixing them, but I'm just curious. It's got math. It's also got unova. Oh, that was probably my doing. It's got medit.rb. Which makes me think it probably has medit and I just missed it. Swear I just saw it there. Ooh, dburst. Hold on. So is fburst in here? That could be huge. You know what? We'll just try this a different way. Hold on. I'm gonna get rid of all of this. Save. We're gonna close this. We should have util here. I'm gonna call it util swap and then delete the other one and then rename it util to util swap. Get rid of that. Remove the swap part because now it's unswapped. Okay, let's rerun this. fburst. File not found. dburst. Okay. So, what? Fans are dump, load. Oh, so it can do both. So dump, okay. Why does it want that? Input disk unit. Oh, this could be massive. This is massive. If we can get this to run on the Micronova, this is huge. So what this should do is read an entire disk, sector by sector. And if we could get it to read from real hardware into SimH, we would be able to make a disk image just with straight up Nova software that already exists. Nova is 8-inch single-sided floppies that are hard sectored, yes. Input disk unit. Let's just try DP1. It really hates that. Diskette unit. Oh. Ugh. Really? I'm about to copy DP2 to DP1 to DP2. Shall I continue? Type yes to proceed. I'm going to do it just because I want it to fill it and then have it tell me to change the disks. Enter RDY. RDY. Load diskette 2. Okay. Oh, that's awful. It is hard drive to floppy backup. I mean, that works, but oh, that's gonna suck. We can do that on the Micronova. We can't do that on the 4X. RHK, yes. That is the terminology. Okay, we're going to try this again. But just for giggles, let's see if fdump runs here. Fdump. I don't know what it's doing. All right. Well, we have our two real disk images here, though. Is this still... It's all synced? It's ready to go? Okay. So let's try doing this. Micro Nova... self-made starter. We're just going to copy these there. That way I have those backed up. All right. All right, what to do next? So those should work. See, is there information about fdump in probably this one? Fdump. Yes, CLI utilities for fast backup to multiple tapes. For single volume disk and tape backups, yeah. So, plain dump stores files and directories subordinate to your current directory in dump format on disk, diskette, magnetic tape, or paper tape. See, paper tape is huge because paper tape means it can be redirected over serial. So that's where we may use dump instead. But the problem with dump is the weird line length thing. I don't understand that. Yeah, so I think you may not have been here earlier when I did it, Matrox. Let me show this. So if I undo all that, so it just boots. So if I go to, let's say, dir dp2, all right, this is the, let's say we're here, all right, there's files, whatever. Is this dir error? That's weird. Oh, because that's the directory where I meant dp1, dir dp1. So let's say we're here. all right, and we want to copy these files over serial, we can do dump/a, and then we set our output device to TTO, so that is teletype output. I hit enter, and bam, it starts sequentially dumping all of the files that are on that drive to serial. The only problem is that it always ends with this, line too long. I don't know what that means. So that's a minor problem. I know that that's how dump works, Vorpal Sword, but it sure beats the pants off of me having to write an imaging utility. It's definitely not 256 characters. That was way more than 256 characters we just sent. It is binary data because it's the raw file data being sent over serial. Now, I don't know what's causing the line too long. I would love it if I could, like, figure out any kind of information here about this. But the cool thing here is that I could have load running on SimH connected to a real serial port for the console, connected to the Micronova to just receive this stuff. So it would be very easy to save it all and have it unpack it, let's say. So yeah, further down for hard copy data, yeah, I know, I don't know, excuse me, later section, hard copy peripherals. I guess we can, I think it wants to talk about paper tape, though. So I don't know that that's actually going to be helpful. Can it write back to disk fast enough with the serial data? What do you mean? Just dump, Ben. Just straight dump. Vorpal Sword, it could be that, but it does the same thing on both. If we do dir dp2, that's where we currently are. So it gives that error, first off, at the end of it, every single time. It'll work the second time. Dir dp1, all right? If we list, the last file is xref.sv. Now, if we do dir dp0 and we list, the last file is not xref. But if I dump a TTO, it will give the same error. So Hellencroft, I'm saying I would send it from real hardware to SimH. SimH can go infinitely fast. As far as writing. Additionally, I could just turn down the serial speed. Okay, hard copy peripherals use some form of paper to store or display information, in contrast to magnetic media, which store information on magnetic surface. Hard copy peripherals using line printer, printing disk files. Plotter's devices that produce plots, graphs, charts on paper. Oh, so okay, it does have the same definition of plotter that I do. Okay. Why is the Micronova not allowed to have a plotter? That doesn't make sense. So spooling output to slower devices. 3 CLI commands control spooling operations for output devices, enables spooling, disables spooling for all hard copy peripherals, and also for terminals. Any user-defined devices Find a spoolable RDOS automatically enables spooling. But we're not using RDOS, we're using DOS. So, well, actually, I think this might be RDOS. On that, we're using DOS. This, we're using RDOS. Because, you know, just life isn't confusing enough. Bango says, line too long. Where are you getting line too long in the manual? Line too long. What? Oh. This is DOS and RDOS manual. Alt back needs to work in a PDF. Because I need to go back to the hard copy page. Well, if it could be what Philip was saying, spooling, maybe I just need to run the spool command. So enable spooling. So spebble. Let's run spebble and try it again. Spebble. Spebble. Not enough arguments. Spebble. TT0. Okay, dump a TT0. Line too long. Yeah, I don't want to exfer one file, though. Dump works differently. You can think of dump as tar. So what dump does is it merges all of the file data that exists in the entire drive, essentially, into one homogeneous file and just blasts that all over as binary data. Then you have to use load to untar it into individual files again. So the benefit to this is it just does everything. And exfer also messes up file attributes. So we don't want to use that. Whereas dump just like straight does everything. Yeah, I saw the automatically enable spooling thing. I was just trying it anyway, just in case. And user-defined devices. Okay, so yeah, we can try turning it off. Spdis TT0. Spdis TT0. Dump a TT0. Boom. Line too long. I don't get this error that's happening afterwards as well, but meh. Maybe fear. It might be just a warning. That is true, Ben. There is a cursor position inquiry. Maybe, you know, that's an interesting point. Let's try this. Set TT1 enable. Set TT1 ANSI. I think that's our best option. Let's check. Help TT. Oh. Yeah, that's, I want TTO. 1. ANSI, even, odd, none, enable, disable. Okay. Yes. That. I don't know if this will actually work or not, but we'll try it. This may also not work because the serial stuff's not getting proper feedback, but we'll see. Okay, dump a TTO1. Free space exhausted. Okay, so that. And now there is a file called the TTO1 on here, I suspect. Use left. No? Or did it, because it didn't clear the buffer from being read? Maybe it didn't work? I don't know. TT0 is the console. So if I did dump a, oh my gosh, TT0, it should be this. Okay, hold on. Dump a, this is now invalid, TT0. Yeah. Yeah, that's not working either. Oh, I forgot about the Skype thing. I should do that someday. Wait, when is Skype dying? Skype shutting down. May 5th. I got a whole month. Oh, you guys are talking about the dasher setting. Don't worry about that. That's for the terminal. That's different. So TTI stands for teletype input. TTO stands for teletype output. For some reason, they're different. I don't understand, but that is, they're assigned to one async card in the machine, and then TTI 1 and TTO 1 are another async card. So this is TTI 0, so it's saying the input for it should be configured as this, or as a dasher, so that the character codes are handled correctly. So, yeah. No, LPT is separate hardware. It doesn't matter because I don't have LPT on this. So LPT doesn't work. So there's fdump and the other one too. Fload, fdump. Let's look at that. Well, that's right. You can't specify the device for fdump. That's what makes it inferior. Yeah, because dump and load are basically tar. Fdump is more like empty. Because it works with tape. Yeah. So it feels wrong to say that it's not like tar in that same way, but it's different. So. Yeah, so we never will be able to use fdump and fload. Now, what was it? D-burst? D-burst. Is that in here? No. I would like to know more about that. So this is RDOS command line, so it shouldn't have anything about D-burst. D-burst? Maybe here? No. Man, where are we going to find information about D-burst? What are you dumping, Laumo? Because it only happens when you do a lot of data. I think Ben might be right. It could be the input buffer. Because that would make sense. If you do it with the boot disk. So the hard disk image, you're saying you're getting it with RDOS D31. Yeah, fdump is useless because it's meant for tape only. Yeah, it basically, Laumo, if I can do it with a floppy and it works fine because it's not as much data. I really think Ben might be onto something. You know, we could try this. Hold on. What if, instead of having my terminal set to Dasher, we have it set to ANSI? Then it won't report the cursor positioning back, I think, maybe. And then it might work. The terminal might be horrifically broken, but we'll find out. Dump a TT0. No, I can't dump to LPT because I don't have an LPT card in the actual hardware. All right, so switching it to ANSI doesn't help. Now, Laumo, it's possible that it has, if Ben is correct and that it's the cursor position query commands that are getting through, that my slight modifications to the RDOS disk image from trying to do sysgens have created just enough more of those to push it over the top. So, trying adding a second 8th inch, I did try, it didn't work. So that's what I was doing here. TTO1, if I do horrifically broken because it's not set to Dasher, one moment. But yeah, I did already try that. If I try to dump to it, it doesn't do anything, and then it doesn't work. Dump a TTO1. Yeah, we get those weird errors. And then space exhausted. And I don't get the space exhausted. Because if I run disk, it's not saving it here. So I'm wondering if that's the buffer or something for it. I don't know. It's also possible that whatever this system is that we're booting is, doesn't have the stuff. I know there's a command for RDOS that shows you which devices you have loaded, but I do not remember what it is. Yeah, so that's the thing, Ben. I don't know. I know there's a way of having it tell you what devices are available, but I don't remember what it is. Just for giggles, it's not valid for the real hardware. So that worked. Dumping to LPT. Where did it go? Who knows? Might have gone to my home folder, actually. I have no idea where it went. But it didn't complain about line too long when it was LPT, so there's that. That's weird. Where did it go? I'm not sure what you're asking about with the spooling, Chris. I got a dumb idea. The files in use won't matter in reality. So if I do dir dp1 and then run dump a lpt, just because that works, not going to complain about files in use, because in reality we're never going to dump the disk that we're actually booted from. I don't know why sysrb is in use, but let's just pretend that that's not there. We're running out of resources spooling the output not connected to a terminal. That's possible, the TT01 or TT01. That would make a lot of sense, yes. That's my expectation. Just found out why list is so slow is automatic spooling on teletypes. Oh, that's hilarious. That's super funny. Okay. Let me do a thing. Okay. So I want... Oh, yeah, I guess. Fine. I'll do it the boring way. So disconnect. Actually, I don't even need to do that. Connect 6 to... Actually, that doesn't work. Don't want that. You know what? Fine. We'll do it this way. Connect 2 to 6. There we go. Go over here, kill SimH. And now I'm going to do this. All right. We're now running SimH over actual serial hardware. So sys. So 1, 1, 88, Control J. 1, 1, Control J. Okay. So we're not using a dasher right now because we're using actual serial hardware. So if it will work over not a dasher that doesn't report the character thing, character position back, this might work. So let's find out. I'm not 100% sure. Dir DP1 go now dump a TT0 go. Let's find out what happens. Well, that's interesting. It did do some stuff over there. I think it killed the connection. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it's doing wonky stuff. Unfortunately, I have no idea how to connect this to this, or else I would. Because you'd think, oh, just do that. But also, it absolutely killed that. The Mux really didn't like it. No, it did not. It did not. So yeah, that'll be good to keep in mind. We probably don't want to run it through the Mux. To run this, SimH. Yeah, TTO device, non-existent parameter serial. See, I don't know how to do this. I've seen like 3 different ways to do it listed online. None of them worked, although I was trying to do it to TTI 0, so maybe I can do it all again. But I don't really feel like doing that on stream. So if you tell me a way to do it, I'm going to ignore it. Just let you know. I'm not going to try and mess with that right now. But yeah. Dumb thought on the real hardware. What if I just disconnect the RX of the terminal or the TX? It can't send character codes for the cursor position if it can't send data back. Actually, wait a minute. No, that's a non-problem. Oh, screw it. We're going to turn on the Micronova one more time. Wait a minute. I have a realization. This is technically working. Okay. I'm going to do something weird. Hold on. I need this to work again. Invalid command. I really don't want to reset it, but I know it's mad at me now. Leave minicom, hanging up. Okay, let's try and reconnect. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect. Okay, it's just not working anymore. Cool. Disconnect 3 and 7. Wait, why are those connected? Micronova and Dash. Oh yeah, those should be. Am I sure? Yes. Why is Echo back not working anymore? Dash P2. Fine. Weird. Okay. Let's do... Dude, I need like 35 USB serial interfaces. What do I want here? I have this one, which is USB console, which we don't need. Okay, one moment. Okay. So 6. That doesn't work. Hold on. Port. Okay. Escape. I don't know what I've done now. Wait, was it this? Hold on. That doesn't make sense. It is that. Oh, drat. What? It's supposed to be 2. No, that is... Oh, this is driving me crazy. Hold on. Okay, I just need to swap these. There. And then, yes, leave minicom, go to USB 1. There, okay. But now they're backwards. So manager console and USB console are backwards. So manager is now 6, but whatever, I don't care anymore. Okay. I want to kill this. I want to set this. USB 0. Okay, I'm going to boot this. Why didn't that work? Non-existent parameter. Okay, that's true. Console. Okay, where did it go? What is this? That's 1. So this should need 0. 600. Okay, let's make this 19,200 701. Then I'm going to go to actual hardware communications. 19,200 7 odd. No check. Yes. Okay. Okay. Save. Run. Oh, it would help if I connected this. Hold on. Let's close this. So I'm on two manager console. Okay. 6 USB console. Okay, so I need oh, wait. I know what I'm doing wrong. This? Kind of. Okay. Here, let me explain what I'm doing. Hello. So that is a whole other terminal. I'm trying to get SimH to load going to this as the console, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up the Micronova on this as its console, And then I'm going to set it up to run dump, but then I'm just going to plug the consoles directly into each other and see what happens. And I'll run load on SimH. But I'm also realizing this is going to be a little difficult. How do I send enter? I guess I can just hit enter. No, I can't. I need a serial pass-through or something. How do I actually start it? This is going to be complicated. Unless I can get TT1 working on that, but it's not sysgen. Dude, this is awful, man. I don't know. It's not that easy, Poot. I can run the command, but then it's already sending data. It's not that easy on SimH, Poot. Let's try something stupid. Let's do this. I'm gonna copy this file. We're gonna call this blank underscore HDD. I go to Kate. We're gonna get rid of the Nova one. We're gonna call this blank underscore HDD.dsk. Yeah, okay. So that's DKP1, DKP0 is that. All right. Let's get rid of the stupid serial console stuff. Okay. Dir DKP. Oh my gosh. What is going on? It's not set to Dasher. That's the problem. Dir DKP or DP1 list. Okay. Delete. They are not in use. List. How do I delete those? So, Baltzar, that might be what I end up doing. We could try that with SimH right now, I guess. Yeah, let's go ahead and try it with SimH right now. Okay, now we do something weird. This is the kind of stupidity that I like. Also, the problem with the cat and that kind of stuff, I have to figure out how to set peripheral parameters. I'm gonna have to learn how to do set TTY. Anyway, this is an FTDI USB serial adapter, just regular run-of-the-mill serial adapter. Okay, you can see the pins on it right there. Okay, normal serial adapter. This is also a USB serial adapter, but they are complementary. So I now have a serial output and a serial input. So what I can do is, yet again, I have minicom here. I forget which one this is connected to. This is serial 1. I don't even know if there's a way to tell which is which here. So this is 9600 8N1. Let's close SimH. Let's do this. Let's bring this back to 9600 8N1, 9600 8N1. All right, we're gonna try this one more time. We'll try 0, and then, yeah, that should work actually, because this, I believe, is set to 1. So we'll run SimH. Output over here, it does. Sys, boom. Okay, so that's all working correctly. SimH over serial. So all that really matters is that one of these, I don't remember which, but one of them is pretending like it's an actual serial host. And then we also have our serial client here, which is on TTY1. So what Baltazar was saying is I input all sorts of weird random stuff. Okay. I go to, well, now I have a weird disk pack mounted, but it doesn't really matter. I can close this. Yes, leave minicom. And then dev TTY USB 1 to save.bin. And then in a separate terminal, I'm going to echo dump. I'm not 100% sure if it's new line or carriage return. I can leave that right there. So we'll try, what's Control K? Does anyone know offhand which it is? Control K, I think the back of the RDOS manuals, or is it the back of the Micronova programming manual? It's got an ASCII table. Hold on. There we go. Control, ASCII symbol. Where is it? I thought this showed the character stuff. No, it doesn't. Okay. Control K, no idea. For line feed. We'll pretend it's return. Okay. So save.bin here. Currently 0 bytes. Let's try this. To dev TTY USB 1. So that is getting a bunch of data. So that worked. Now the benefit to doing it this way would be that we save the data on a Linux computer in a like intermediate format that we can control forever. So we can always replay this data. And you'll see how I will replay this in a moment. We will make this work. We may not finish this, because that's a 2.5 megabyte hard drive. It's about half full, which means it's probably, let's round it to 1 megabyte of data. We're 5% done now. So it's going to take a while. That's 9600 baud. We can actually make that faster. So this doesn't have to be as bad. I wonder if opening Minicom and then using that to configure the serial port and then closing Minicom and leaving the terminal open is enough to configure it. Because Linux does get a little weird, but that might be acceptable. I think we're on DP1 right now. Let's check this out. SimH, not that. Open with imhex. I should make ROM dumps of the real hardware with the memory monitor. There's only one ROM I can get to, so. That's a lot of useless data there. That's a lot of useless data. It's a lot of bells. Why? Dump, not enough dump, not enough dump, not enough dump. But then it's like it's corrupting? What? Is this actually working? I feel like there's a parity error, and this is like the serial equivalent of the last song on Add Violence from 9 Inch Nails, where it's just like the tape loop that gets slowly distorted, and that the data is just being more and more distorted as it goes. I mean, it's still going. Reload. Let's see. We get any actual data? Doesn't look like it. It's just a bunch of terminal bells. And yeah, Baltazar, I've already done the one ROM dump I can do. Oh, I know what they... Yeah. Let's kill SimH. I know exactly what the problem is. No, I don't want to save it. Okay, let's try this one more time. SimH, NovaScript. Okay, opens over here. Sys, C, 1188, go. Actually, Control J, 1, go. Okay, now I will back out. Yes. Start saving data. And this time, I'm going to tell it to dump to the TTY. There we go. Hey, now we should get data. All right, open with imhex. Okay, that's different, but not correct. Yeah, it is the background world. Yeah, you're right. No, we don't need A. A just means all files, including the hidden ones. Why were we getting data before? That's very, very possible. We are getting a mismatch on the serial port config. Extremely likely. So I'm going to kill this. I'm going to reopen Minicom. And then I'm going to restart my whatever, SimH. I'm going to redo the whole thing. Okay, so if I do dump TT0 here, yeah, there we're getting the data. I think when we close Minicom, the serial port settings are not persisting. Because Linux TTY is super weird. I don't understand it. Oh, that's interesting. That might be possible, Ben. I will say this, though. Our dumb terminal that doesn't respond to commands here, it hasn't said line too long. Well, the thing, Ben, is that only works for trying to dump within SimH. We don't actually want to dump within SimH. We want to dump a serial device. The other reason that this may not be totally valid is SimH runs normally at a mythical speed that the real hardware doesn't. We're currently going through real hardware. So it's possible that it is just going slower and it's building up the cursor command things or whatever errors in the background still. Oh, well, that's just kind of cool. Watch that happen. So it may still have the line too long error. Yeah, you're probably right, Ben, but we don't know 100% sure that that is the problem. Well, if Minicom sends a break, it's not a problem. The problem is we just need a way of dumping serial with it configured. I mean, I can write a Python script to just dump binary data from serial if I have to. That's not going to be a problem. And I might even just want to do that to integrate it into my console control program that I already have written. Just open the serial port and set it to just, put any raw data directly into a file. That's not the worst thing. So what we are currently doing is simulating a serial disk dump. So it would be as if we had just booted the hardware and we're able to back up all of the data over serial.
CRAZYBOY 2025 SIZHER 100. I have been working from home today creating documentation for a new solution I am deploying at work. Thank you for running an amazing stream tonight, Shelby. You really have helped me through the focusing on completing this groggy task. End of line. End of line.
Thank you for the 100 bits, crazy boy. Not the disk box. I'm more focused about the hard drives, specifically. I exited Minicom with AX. Yeah, it's the hard drives that are the big concern. What is this dump tape and then a bunch of really slow tildes? That keeps happening consistently. I don't think it matters as long as dump can actually read it back. The hard drive will plug directly into the backplane bus on the Micronova, yes. On the 4X, it will connect to a disk controller card directly. So the hard drive controller is on the back of the hard drive. It's effectively one unit. You can think of the Micronova as like early USB. You know, it's just like, it's got everything integrated. You have one shared connector standard. But if we can do it within RDOS, then we don't have to worry about anything. I have no idea how long this will take, by the way. We're kind of just waiting to see if it crashes. I guess I should move it over a little bit more. And by crashes, I mean it shows the line too long error. Will not try to do a reset. Not sure. There's the slow tildes again. Not sure if it makes a big difference up. Modem reset commands in the config. I don't know. I think I'm just going to end up doing it with Python, though. I think that'll be the safer method, because I can directly control everything then. What I think I'll do is, so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I keep saying Python, let me just, I mean, you'll, a number of you will know the program. There's the bells happening. This is 9600 Poot. So this is my console debug interface that I've written for the Micronova, because the Micronova has a memory monitor. I wrote this so that we could use a simple program to read and write sections of RAM directly from the machine while it is at the memory monitor. What I could easily do is just add a function to this where it sends a command, so dump pt0, and then just starts writing any received data over serial to a file. It'd be trivial to add it to this, and then have a send command receive data function built into this. Really seems like a smart play. So really just do that. I need to update this anyway so we can change the serial port speed because it's different now. Oh, and the 8N1. Yeah, none of that's applicable anymore. So this will need updated. But I feel like that's the smart play. Can I mute these? Oh, I just have to focus it. There. I just have to keep it in focus and then it will stop. Now, in theory, we should be able to pipe the... I didn't hear the bell sound either, so, you know, I think bell doesn't actually make a sound. It just makes the pop-up on Linux now. At least Kubuntu or whatever. We should be able to pipe the raw file.
Up to 5 viewers. End of line.
Green Source, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that. We should be able to pipe or cat the dump file into SimH to have it do something with it. And we can test that with the floppies before we do it with any real hard drives. But the huge benefit to this is that it puts all of the onus on interfacing with the hardware on RDOS or just DG-DOS. And we don't have to figure that out. And that helps with the 6095, which is the weird hard drive that we're not 100% sure. We're like 95% sure we'd be able to interface with it. But for the Echo 2 drive that's in the... it's just like... For the Echo 2 drive in the Nova 4X, this just is job done. This would be a cakewalk to image that drive then. And it's not really image, it's backup. It's an operating system level backup, but it's pretty good. So... yeah, Ben, I can see that. Oh, that's interesting. A bunch of menus about random data. Huh. Now, again, this is not going to be a real disk image, but a real disk image is seeming really hard to use. That's got to be the dump command doing that. I don't know what it's doing. I think it might be trying to send an output to say, hey, change the tape, because it probably knows how long a paper tape is. And then it's waiting for you to remove the paper tape or release something that the paper tape would then hold the line. Maybe say data terminal not ready or something. And if it is doing that, then that data shouldn't be in the stream, I suspect. And that might be a problem. No live sysgen attempt on the actual Nova yet? No. The second floppy drive stopped working again. No idea why. So, right when I went to go try and do it, it did that. It's very frustrating. Anyway, option for kilobit chunks for swapping. Oh, really? Well, that could be it. Drop it once into a dumpster? Is that what you're saying? I've been all over the floppy drive already. I don't think it's bad solder joints, but at this point, who knows? Let's see. Global switches are A for dump all files, K for do not dump links, L for list the files over LPT, V for verify dump file names on the console, which we really don't want because that'll screw everything over. I don't see the 20K option here. So that's interesting. So that might be different for different versions of DOS and RDOS. Ben, that is the best option. We have to sysgen the Nova to do that. And then we have to sysgen SimH too. And figure out how to make SimH work with a second serial port. And have my second serial card actually work, which we don't know if it works or not. I agree, you're probably not meant to run dump over your console. It probably doesn't handle that too well. Yeah, I don't remember, Ben. It's all been way too much of a pain in the butt. I do, Vorpal Sword. There are 2 serial cards in there. Thankfully. Because I couldn't ever get a second one. Did it just end? Nope. Yeah, we've had no real way to test it, Ben. So. I mean, it's possible I could just go run, like, copy to TT01 or something. And then that would, like, output data to it. How's the big file looking now? We're not writing to a file. We can't write to a file. I will have to do the Python command, or code to do that. We're just outputting to Minicom right now. That's it. That's all we're doing. What I'm waiting for right now is to see if it gets to the line too long error. That's what we're currently testing. Is if Minicom not responding to the cursor position command causes it not to have an issue. Or if I let it run, it builds up some other internal error. That's what we're currently testing. Yeah, that probably would have been, you know, I'm out of brains right now. Currently thinking if I didn't live in a desert, I'd be looking up which lake I could drop the floppy drives into. Poot. There is. It's just bad and not applicable to the 4X. So there is a command that we could run that would sector by sector image the hard drive, but we cannot redirect its output to serial, and instead it would do it to floppies. It's, let's say 256 kilobytes per floppy. The hard drive is 1 megabyte? Or no, 2.5 megabytes? So that would be 100 floppies. No, it'd only be 10. No, it'd only be 10. Yeah, I don't know, man. It would be really rough. I do not have floppy drives for the Nova 4X. No, I wish I did. I would be willing to pay real money for them right now. But they're not for sale anywhere that I'm aware of. Yeah, it says dump tape and then outputs this. It's definitely doing something where it's waiting for you to change tape or something. And SimH is just lying to it, basically saying it did it. I gotta I've never heard of Front Mission 3 Flare Spire, I'm sorry, but that sounds cool. If you enjoy the game, that sounds awesome. And no, the floppy drives are not interoperable. I've tried asking Dell whenever I ask them for spare parts, one of my servers, to come up with some ancient, unrelated junk instead. So worth a shot, yeah. I think they bought the IP. They probably left all the tooling in whatever warehouse it was in. I just wanted the juicy service contracts. Besides, Dell would probably look up what the original purchase price was, and I don't really want to pay $2,000 for one. I mean, maybe $2,000 for a brand new one. Okay, if it's brand new, I'd pay it, but still getting up there. That's a good way of thinking about it. I do it, engineer. Basically, X modem. But it's not meant to be X modem. It's meant to be causing soft strips. And we're just pretending it's X modem. And that has issues. Soft strip dump, so they're like, at max, they were 64K per page. So that's 1/5. So 50 pages to dump the hard drive. Yeah, the auto mod. You got a stock of fresh ribbons? Yeah. Image writer. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what it took. We don't have... That's not horrible? It's not really, no. I'm reminded of a thing I need to check on. Oh, that's got a long way. Punch cards is a real option, Vorpal Sword. That's like one of the ones it would actually prefer. You gotta keep in mind that this thing is ancient. When you think, oh, I'm gonna come up with a weird, obscure thing, it's like, no, actually, it would do that. Like, we're pretending it's paper tape right now. Not sure what you mean by manual on disk. The manual is on paper, not punch paper, printed paper. It's also, this is really awkward and annoying now. This is like the dumbest thing to complain about. Okay, I have this manual actually bound, okay, like glue bound pages, not 3-hole punched. But all of my other manuals are 3-hole punched sheets. So now I have, these are all binders, but then this one's just a paperback book. But they're all like the same, so I'm gonna have to keep them together. So now they're gonna be really awkward to like store. It's the dumbest problem to have, but it's like, now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna handle this. Oh, that was mboot. That was interesting. That might be microboot, which I think was one of the last files on the drive. I don't know. I wonder if this will finish before the stream does. If it doesn't, I'm just closing and walking away because I have no idea how long it'll actually last. I can run this at any time. There's already a PDF of the book. I'm not printing it out and then rebinding it. Why would I have bought it then? Oh, there are some interactive programs on here, Desk Wizard, that might be what you saw, where it asks you a question, asks you to respond. So maybe that. There might be one or two readmes in there, but they would be rare. No, I do it, engineer. I'm running SimH in the background, which emulates the real Nova hardware that I have over here. Well, not that exact hardware, but close enough for this test. And then I have two serial ports that are real hardware serial ports that are just plugged into each other. SimH is outputting its console to one, and then I have Minicom reading from the other. So over USB serial, we're just sending data. Like, it's going to town here, like, blinking away. It's the dumbest possible way, but this gives us a real test of serial reading and writing from a Nova to see how it works. Now, the reason I'm doing this to Minicom right now is because it was easy to set up and test the serial settings. And when we did this directly within SimH, where it would output to its own console, we would get an error where it would say line too long or something to that effect. And I'm trying to see if we do it to something that is not emulating this terminal, which supports a character position query. I want to see if it doesn't have the line too long error. So that's why we're running this. I could have increased the speed and it would have taken about half as long, but it might also take like 10 times longer than it has now. We really have no way of knowing. So I don't think having the speed would have made a huge difference in the long run. So in the long run, we will probably need to have two serial ports working on the real hardware and on SimH in order for this to work, which is gonna suck. So, how much time to get to the line too long? So the problem with that is SimH, when you run SimH's internal console, it runs unclocked. So it'll go instantly. It is, you know, infinite baud rate. So it goes as fast as Linux can print to the terminal. So, bingo. That sucks. That's bad. Oh, that's a problem. I really didn't think it was going to happen. I really didn't think it was going to happen. Well, Ben, you may have found another thing. Can you link on Discord to the manual that mentioned the 20K flag? Because it's possible that there might be a line that is longer than 20K, so there's no carriage returns or something that are 20K long. And maybe if we disable that, it'll work. But yeah, that's bad. That's bad. All right, we are ending it there. Yeah, Minicom could probably capture to a file, but I don't want to do it in Minicom. We're going to write the Python program. That's the way. That's the best possible way. Huh. Well, that sucks. Yeah, it would. That would be for swapping actual paper tape. Yeah. All right. Man. Oh, I had a second instance of SimH open. Oh, whoops. Those are not insignificant loads on the CPU. All right. All right. I'm just going to state this. I don't know what we're going to do next week, and I'm probably not going to spend any time on this over the week because I need to edit. So I'll see what we end up doing. Because this is into the realm of very, very frustrating now. So, all right. But yeah. So at some point here, we're going to have to figure out what's going on with the floppy drive. So that's going to be a problem. But it's not one I'm solving right now. So I'm, getting it out of my brain. I'm not thinking about it. So, all right, it's time to run the outro here. Doing this a little early because we're just done. There's nothing else we're doing the amount of time we have. So, all right. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and let this rest flat so the board doesn't spend the next, like, week or whatever bowing. There we go. See you, Digital Ice Age. Hope the color checker works out for you. Is it color checker or X-Rite branded? Just out of curiosity, if you can hear and respond in time. X-Rite is the newer one. Color checker is older. Anyway, ESD straps. It is plugged into the wall and grounded, and I was touching the sides of the chassis the whole time. It was fine. Okay, we're calling it there. X-Rite. That's newer then. I think yours might be newer than mine then, actually. Mine is... Oh, wait. Calibrite. Calibrite is the newer one. X-Rite is the older one. Okay, yeah. So this is... Yeah. Anyway, they'll both work. Yours might actually even work better with DaVinci Resolve. But anyway, all right, that's it. Tune in next weekend for more. It will never end, apparently. But yeah. So, I don't know what we're going to do, if it's going to be floppy drive or not, if I get the video edited and then I get super itchy and come back in and work on it. I am not making any guarantees anyway. So, yep. But alright, we're going to call it there. So, if you enjoyed this stream, then you may want to follow and be notified when I go live again next. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon, or get a shirt like this one. But that is it for now, and I will see you next time. Printout button. The printout button. Oh. Too small on the touchscreen. Come on.